What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Profit for Contractors podcast. I'm super excited about our guest today, Mr. Austin O'Neill. Austin's been like a little brother to me. Really just kind of started to take on the marketing expert role for team builders, and we've actually pulled him into PFC as an expert. You've been doing it now for probably 8 years, I would say.
Going on 8.
And today our topic is how to become the obvious choice in your market as a contractor.
But how to become the obvious choice is more about finding your identity and sticking to your strengths and doing the things that you're best at, and then being able to get clarity on your identity as a business and the customers that you serve. It sets your marketing up for success. If you don't know what your business is and you're struggling to find your identity, as in anything, it's very tough to plant your flag on the ground and say, hey, this is what we're really good at. So you kind of just end up going by the wayside. And as a result of that, what happens is you just get leads that come at you, and it's very reactive. You don't have any sort of ability to attract the type of clients that you want because you don't have any sort of identity, right? And so if we're talking about becoming the obvious choice, we'll start there. We had this conversation yesterday of like, hey, I just want to let you guys know that the reason why we're getting all these new awesome $1 million custom home builds is because we got really clear on, right? I came in here yesterday.
Stop the room. You were like, hey, everybody, I want to make an announcement. We are getting awesome leads because we've been very clear about who we are to our audience.
Like, you need to pretend like your website is almost going into a job interview. If your website has bad photos and it is unclear and it's a little bit sloppy, and your branding and your colors and your logos, they're all kind of, it's like showing up to an interview in jeans and a ragged t-shirt. And if you show up and actually you have good branding and you have clean photos and you have good messaging, it's like showing up to an interview and now you're dressed in a suit and tie and you're ready to go. And people get a completely different impression because they think it's how you do business.
We looked bigger than we actually were. If somebody were to ask me today from like a client perspective, if I've never built a new custom home, if somebody in the sales process asked me, how many new custom homes have you built? I'd be like, oh, we built 5 last year or something like that. That's the mentality. I'm not saying that I would actually do that.
Sure.
I'm a little bit more transparent and honest in that approach, but you want to give the perception that you're already fucking doing it. You know what I mean? So sometimes they're going to look like you're more grand or bigger than what you actually are, and that's okay, and that may stretch you, but it's going to get you the types of clients that you want to be dealing with, right?
We hadn't built any custom homes down here, but we wanted to build custom homes down here. And then we were like, we're going to put on our site that this is what we do and this is what we're good at. And it's not like fake it till you make it because it's like, oh, I don't know if we're good at it. Like, we have our scheduling's great, our project managers are good. We know we can do it. We need to show the world before, like, hey, these are the types of projects we can do. So we got some stock footage, copyright free, and we're like, hey, let's put some nice custom home photos. And then it's no shock that 6 months down the road, as we're gaining traction, my sales guy's getting calls saying, O'Neill, man,
we got 4 in the pipeline.
People are calling, and the number one thing they're saying is like, dude, your guys' website looks awesome. Like, you guys do great work. Like, let's roll with it, right?
And so you started with us in Iowa, and you were like, I want to come to Florida.
Yeah.
And we moved to Sarasota, Florida. We bought a business in Sarasota, Florida, which is a totally different market.
We got kicked in the face a little bit when we got down here because one of the things that we did was we had like this preconceived notion that we're like, oh, we're running decks and fences in Iowa. Like, we're cooking. Like, we're going to come down to Florida. We're going to open a fence business and a deck business. And we did, and we found out really quickly that, like, oh, man, like, there's a lot of other people down here that can do this for way cheaper, and this just isn't what we want to do. It wasn't our ideal customer. And we pivoted really hard. And that's one thing that we
didn't buy a deck and fence business.
No.
This was just recently, last year, we started a deck and fence business trying to almost duplicate what we had in Iowa, and it was not the same.
Right.
We found that out.
Right. And because we had the systems and the scorecard and the numbers, which is a whole nother topic, like, we were able, because we were, educated enough to track our marketing. Looking at the numbers, it became very clear very quickly, like, hey, we're spending a little bit more than what we want. We're not really getting the result. Like, we have effective marketing, but like, this just kind of isn't it. And just one little pivot, we're spending way less now on marketing, and we're getting jobs that are 50 times bigger in terms of the number. And so it's like,
100 times.
Yeah, and we're playing to our strengths now, right? Instead of just like being like, oh, we're going to come down here and build decks and fences. Like, and that's one thing I want to point out to all the contractors out there. That is one of like, if I had like 3 red flags of like contractors, one of them would be we make too many assumptions on the types of work that we want to do, or like it comes with meaningful reflection. And that's part of week 1. Like, we need to review like what's working and what's not working. And then we need, okay, hey, what jobs are we profitable on? What jobs are we best at? Like, what jobs do we really enjoy doing? Okay, let's like meaningful review after 6 months or a year. And then which is what happened here. We had to get like 3 to 6 months under our belt. And then we did some reflection and we're like, no, man, we can't do this anymore. We got to go a different direction. And it's night and day difference.
And that was a tough call to make because we had invested so much time, energy, and effort to kind of get that thing rolling. But now looking at it 6 months down the road, we're like, thank God.
Amen, yeah.
So if someone listening wants to improve and become or start to become the obvious choice in their market, what are they doing this month to be able to do that? Like, what action can we give the listeners to be able to like push towards this mentality?
Yeah, I would say
identity.
Yeah, it starts with, and that's unfortunately that's part of the problem with contractors and marketing is like all these builders and contractors, they're hard workers and they wanted to start a business and they're into the building, but could kind of care less about the marketing. And sometimes it comes off as a little cliche when you continually say, as a marketing person, we need to figure out our ideal customer and we need to lock in our identity. We need to figure out our target market. Everyone rolls their eyes at that, but if you really want to start somewhere, you got to dig in and you got to put your nose to the grindstone a little bit and figure out, okay, like these are the types, like in review, like I said, meaningfully review, this is what we do well financially for jobs. This is what we're good at and our strong suit. Let's sit down and let's just come up with our identity and our target market. And that's a great place to start is like,
let me speak to the identity piece of what I think identity is, and you can reflect back to me if I'm right or wrong. So I think at the top of identity is obviously your values of your company, right? And individual values may be mixed in as if you're a smaller company, but like what do you stand for, all right? And having a set of values, and that most people don't have those, right? But I think if you want to be a top 5-10% builder, I think you definitely have a set of values that you're firing around, and like it's almost more important than the skills that you're bringing in. I'd rather bring somebody into my business that doesn't have the skills but has the values, and then I can train them on the skills.
Right.
So that's the first thing. Next is just a big, hairy vision. Like, what are we trying to do in the next 5 years or the next 10 years? Like, what are we inching towards? And there's qualitative and quantitative to that. So, like, a quantitative would be, like, we want to hit 10 million in 5 years.
Right.
But a qualitative of that may be, like, I want to be able to build a business that feels like a family, right? That feels like a locker room environment where I'm pouring into them and I'm helping them achieve freedom, right? And I'm speaking to these things because I've done this inner work and I know what I want. Like, I want my team to feel that freedom. I want to do big things. I want to play big, all right? And so I want to help my team play big too and have freedom.
Let me touch on that real quick. I know you might have a few more points, but for the people out there that don't know, I'm so thankful that we've had you as the leader of this business, because one thing that you do relentlessly is chase a vision, and you do a really good job of putting it out in front of people. And to all the owners of construction companies out there, get off of the high horse and the cliche of that, because it is so true. Our business and the marketing and everything about the business wouldn't move in the direction it could move without the vision. And I'm telling you guys, if you haven't done it, you like lock it in, because you've done that since the day I've met you. It's your biggest strong suit, and it's the reason why the company is headed in the direction it is. And like, I just need to point out the fact that like, you got to plant that vision and you got to share that with your team if you're the leader. I think I just want to get that out there.
Yeah, I think, there's a dichotomy of a couple different roles that leaders take on, and one is visionary, which is what I am, and then I have a counterpart to that, which is more of an integrator, right? Kind of more of that GM operational role. I have that in Trevor. I have a little bit of that in Whiteside here in the office, and I even have that within PFC, right? So it's an important role, but I am the visionary guy, and as a visionary, it's important to, once you know what that vision is, to clearly communicate that at every step of the way to your team, and just almost like over communicate it, dial it in, and design the human system that's going to put the players in place that are going to actually allow you to get there. And as a CEO, that's what you should be focusing on. And if you're focusing on that and doing that well, the team, and you're pouring into your team, like a lot of people want to say like, oh, we're customer number one. Like I'm like, employees are number one. If I got the right employees, they'll take care of my customers. So back to identity, like, values, a big vision. Okay. And then there's this purpose, and I think I shared a little bit of that, but I want, like, freedom at the core is my purpose, and joy, right? We only have one life to live, and everybody in the business has that. I'm not in business to just get rich for myself. I want all of my guys to be taken care of. I want them to be able to retire early. I want them to have time for freedom and their families. I want them to build families. So, like, that is, like, my inner purpose, and then there's also that purpose for the company, too. Like, number one customer experience is going to fund that. Right? Profitability is going to fund that. And having those things, and Profit for Contractors obviously is very focused on profits. And a lot of these things we talk about all inch towards that, like it all puts together. And so that purpose behind that. And then the last piece is that strategy to do. Strategy being a marketing strategy specifically. Knowing your psychographic, your demographic, your geographic of your customer base. Knowing what you're going to be best in the world at. What is your promise or guarantee?
Right.
What makes you unique? Understanding those unique components of your business. For us right now, it's treating your home treating your home like it was our own, right? Having that kind of sense of ownership mindset. Making it right no matter what is our promise. If something goes wrong in construction, especially custom homes, something always does, and we're going to make it right, whether we got to redo it, pay for it, whatever that is. And then the last one is really about our culture. Like our people are actually a unique component of our business, and our culture is we have fun on the sites, we're playing music. Like you come into our office, like it's a bit of a vibe.
Vibes are high.
Like the one way I share that with people is like the way when you walk into my office and this energy you feel from my guys and from even our surroundings, like we design our spaces that way. Correct. We design homeowner spaces that way too. Their home is a vibe. What is that vibe when you walk, like the vibe that you get when you walk in here is my vibe. I want you to feel a vibe when you walk into your home. Like I love saying that to people because that is an essence and a unique for us. So yeah, those, like identity wise, would you agree like knowing those things helps then market that and attract the right customer, and you put that on, you design that and show that on the website, the suit and tie, if you will?
Yeah, and I want to touch too real quick on your target market, and you don't need to have a marketing degree. Like I dropped out of college, and I think sometimes it can come across as a little bit overwhelming for people when they're like, oh man, I have to do all these like dialed in marketing strat. You don't have to have everything figured out. But what you do need to do is you do need to be intentional. You do need to be intentional, and you do need to at least start rowing in a direction.
Yeah.
And then once you're rowing and you have momentum, you can pick and choose kind of how to steer the ship based on how things are going. But I want people to understand that too when I say like you got to find your target market and you got to find what you're best at. Like you're not just going to hit you one day and like everything is like on paper going to look awesome. Like don't overwhelm yourself. Just start rough and just get the ball rolling. Yeah.
And a vision. You know, like what I just said, you know, probably sounded really polished because I've thought so much about it for the last 6 years, you know? So like the first vision I put together was ugly. The first set of values was like, it's, but it was a start. And I think that's the most important, is just taking some action towards that.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing too, is like people see us now and they're like, oh man, your stuff's so good. I'm like, my guy, you should have seen us early on. Like it was not that way.
You don't get 10,000 followers overnight.
No, well, like and
it's one at a time. And then before you know it, it's one a day. And before you know it, it's, 50 a month.
Right. And I want to also point out that, like I said, we started off so rough, and I was the biggest, and the reason why I'm bringing some of this up is because I was the biggest target market, whatever at the beginning, because I was a punk 18-year-old college student, right? Like, I didn't go to school for marketing, obviously.
You were a punk.
I was a punk. And it took us 2, 3, 4 years, like I said, crawl, walk, run, before we really started getting dialed in on some of our things. So I want everyone to know that, like, I've been there, okay? You know what I mean? You're not behind. You just need to get started a little bit. And so I want to make that clear. It's like everyone starts from somewhere, you know?
I want to end this session with a little bit more about the masterclass, because that's something you're bringing to the PFC. I want to know what somebody could get from this masterclass? Like, what do you bring into this thing? What's kind of the architecture of it, if you will? Why should someone show up? Who should show up?
If you want your business to grow and you want your cost per leads to go down, and
I like the numbers aspect of that.
yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely not gonna want to miss it. And just the
Number of leads to go up and cost of leads to go down.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, that's
yeah.
melt my heart.
Yeah, we're cooking a little bit.
Yeah.
Been doing that for 7 years, so we got some good numbers.
Would you say that that's at the foundation of what you do, those metrics, like number of leads and then the cost to obtain a lead?
Yeah. Over time, you start to figure out the numbers and
you don't get that just out of the blue either. You got to just start tracking it, and it's a slow, methodical type of thing. But if you don't have the data, you're never going to be able to make the tweaks. So tracking the data, that's where you're talking about the scorecard too.
Yeah, also that's going to be covered in the masterclass. And
you talk about the scorecard in the masterclass.
Oh my god, dude. Well, you have to start, and that's the thing, is if we're going to talk about kind of like what's in the masterclass,
your scorecard's massive.
I
think that's overwhelming if you're going to... Well, you could show what it could look like, obviously.
I'm going to give him a template to start that's a little more simple.
That scorecard's built for 5 years.
It's also built for 5 different businesses all on the same scorecard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'd be a lot more simple if there was only one, right?
Which is cool perspective to be able to show the different types of how we deal, what the scorecard looks like for a GC business versus just like the deck builder business.
Correct.
Right? Which is more single trade versus like...
And then you have your weekly, and then you have your weekly numbers in there, and then you have your quarterly and your annual, and then you've got, 3, 4, 5 years of really good history numbers, so you're always able to look relatively speaking, okay, how are the previous years, how are we doing this year, and just starting. So anyway, the masterclass, we're going to cover that. It's like a freshman year through kind of senior years, how I'm looking at it. And
the university structure, which is something PFC is really focused on too. We're working on like a PFC university and being able to bring those types of things. And the master classes are really kind of the foundation of those.
Correct. And I think, marketing can seem really complicated, but one of the themes for the masterclass is like marketing isn't complicated, it's just layered. And at every single layer, we can learn to build leverage if we do the proper things in the proper order. And so there's so many different topics that I'm going to cover, all the way from in-person and referrals and customer experience, all the way to website, social media, content,
Google business
collection.
profile.
We're doing a deep dive on the Google profile, because like that is how everyone's finding you. And so there's a mile wide of topics, and as the weeks progress, we're going to kind of cover them, and we're going to get deeper and deeper and deeper, and then kind of wherever you are, we're going to help you week 1, we're going to help identify where you're at, and then we're going to help you figure out what's the next 6 to 12 months look like to take my marketing to pay for marketing like you're a small business, but look like you're a big business.
And so, for example, if I'm a small GC doing $1 million to $2 million and I want to grow to 5, okay, and I come into that, I don't necessarily have social media. I kind of got a website. I got a good reputation because I've been building for a couple years, and some people in town are starting to get to know me. All right, maybe I don't know what a Google business profile is. Maybe I do. I would get a little bit of that. I would get a little bit of the website. If I maybe wanted to learn about social media, you're going to create a lot of awareness around all the facets, it sounds like.
No,
so you're covering a little bit of the mile wide, but then you're going kind of...
and we're getting tactical too. Like I've got screenshots in the presentation of like, here's where you're going to click, and here's what you need to do, and like literally step by step, because people, they want to be told what to do, right? And it's just like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to make it confusing for you.
Here.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you like, I'm not going to tell you about it and then like expect you to go do it. It's like part of the masterclass is like, no man, like we're going to do this step by step and make sure that your business is moving on.
I love that.
Yeah,
I'm pumped.
I'm stoked, man.
I'm pumped. Yeah. Well, cool. Any last remarks you want to share with the audience? Any sort of plug to get into PFC, to get into access to those? I mean, sounds like this is going to be pretty powerful.
I mean, yeah, if you're in the business or in the Profit for Contractors group, like that already speaks volumes about your business and what you're doing, because you're invested in...
That's a good call.
Yeah, you're invested in your business, which you're already in the top 5% of performers or players or teams, because your mind goes also where your money goes. And so like an investment into that is leading your business in the right direction. So
I almost pose a question of like, what would you pay to get your business to that level, right? Of like the level you want. If you've been stuck at $1 million to $2 million for 3-4 years running, are you just going to keep repeating that same amount? Like marketing's going to help take you there, right? How do if I get access into that? Like, what would you pay to have that? It's almost like, what would you pay if your marriage sucked? What would you pay to save your marriage? If your business sucks and you're not as profitable as you want, you're not hitting revenue targets, and it's consistently running you and you're not running it, like, what would you pay to fix that?
Yeah, what would you get?
And that's really what PFC is aiming to do, is actually help you get to that next level in your business, where we're bringing the experts, we're bringing the information, the tactical actually work in place, and we're going to show you how to do that with experts. And that's a great plug. I love that. So thank you.
Yeah, and if you're not a part of PFC and you're just seeing this somewhere on the interwebs, I would say take a look. If you're not where you want to be, like, something needs to change, and nothing changes if nothing changes, right?
Yeah, it's the definition of insanity, is repeating the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, right?
And the amount of leverage and value you're going to be getting out of the Profit for Contractors group is insane, because you're getting experts, like you've talked about, on every single topic. For, obviously you're fixing your business, but at the same time, like, you're getting like expert top level advice on very specific topics and business strategies that are going to help move your business forward. And if you want to move your life and your business forward, absolutely no-brainer to be like, man, I'm ready. Like, let's take off the child lock and let's go.
If that's for you, definitely going to have something in the call notes or the podcast notes to be able to book a calibration call with the team. And, free of charge, we kind of audit your business, take you through a little bit of our process, show you what it's about before, making sure that it's a good fit for both of us, right? And, the only other thing I'll say is, at the end of the day, if you're looking to get to that next level, PFC can take you there. I know that. It's in my heart. We're working on a ton of things right now. We're bringing a bunch of new things, and you're going to be learning from experts that have been doing it and have learned from so many mistakes that they've already made, where they can take you from, if you're at even if you're at year 1, you can get advanced to year 10 in a matter of a year or two with PFC, because you're going to have the guys that's at the top of the mountain looking down at where you're at and helping like, take this step, not that one. And you're going to get up the mountain faster.
Right, they have perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and one more thing. And also open to discovery calls as well. Like, if anyone needs some marketing, hey, I don't know where the F I'm at in my business right now with marketing, I just want to have a conversation, open to that as well, right? Just to help genuinely want people's businesses to grow. Like, hey, man, we've been there, done that. Like, let's get some eyes on it.
We want nothing but the best for the guys that are out there in this industry, because you're in the best industry in the world, and we want to help you guys grow so that blue collar's back, man.
Yeah, baby, hard work.
College. Let's go right into the trades. Let's figure this thing out. Let's, become millionaires together. So appreciate you being on the show, O'Neill. Much more to come, but this is a great start.
Awesome.